What is up, everybody? CP and SJ with you here for another week of picks from every day we're covering, where we like to talk the world of sports, wagering, having a good time. And we are going to get into conference tournament basketball season. March Madness is upon us, and we should have some madness here with the conference tourneys here this week, and hopefully some great basketball. We're going to take a look at picks here for the Power Four conferences. So we're going to give you what our betting favorite is, and then also a dark horse that you might want to put a little coin on and kind of give you maybe the odds you're looking at here with some of these teams. SJ, it does appear a few of these have kind of the odds-on favorite that maybe is a little bit heavier than in some past seasons, but we know that there's always going to be a surprise or two.
Hey, the good thing is about madness, you never see it come until it's right in your face. So we'll try to do our best to maybe have some long range vision here, but it's a little tricky. But that's what makes it fun, and that's what we love this time of year.
Yeah, so some good stuff hopefully upon us. We're going to start here with the conferences that maybe we don't follow as much. Of course, on this show, we typically talk more about Big 12, Big 10 stuff because it's what teams we follow here in the Midwest. But we do, of course, have the other big ones, and we'll start in the SEC. And Florida right now, the odds-on favorite here to win this tournament. And there's some others, and you're going to get into some pretty good plus money once you start getting on down the line. So it's kind of an interesting mix. I'll start off with this one. I think Florida. It has been the proven team here in this league. They're the ones that have been the most consistent. Have they always been consistent? No, I do think that they're vulnerable, especially when we get into talking about the big dance and the tournament there. They seem to become a little bit of a media darling here these last few weeks of the regular season, but I don't know. I'm not going to be super high, I don't think, on them once I get into picking the field. Of course, depending on where they fall and who they play, but I do think that they are going to be the team to beat here in this tourney. So I'm going to go Florida to win it as the favorite. You're not getting any return though. Minus 175. I mean, if you're real confident that they're going to win, you're going to put enough coin on there to get a touch of a return. Go for it. But not a real value play if you're just going to spend a little here. Now, if you're looking for somebody to win it outside of that, you're jumping into the plus 600s really for the next team on the list. But moving on down, I'm going to go to what's kind of the third betting favorite right now in Vanderbilt. They're sitting at plus 950. They've won some big games. I think they've got the explosiveness to win at times and can maybe put together a little bit of run like this. They have been wildly inconsistent. They've definitely lost some games they shouldn't have through the year. So I wouldn't be real confident in this. But if I'm going to go a dark horse, that's where I'm going. So SJ, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, maybe it's the return on investment, or also just the fact of despite what everybody keeps telling me and what I keep hearing that Florida is the best team on the planet. I just can't buy it. I'm not seeing it. For that reason, I think they'll probably slip up here, and I could see them also, maybe coming up short here in the big dance here next week. But we'll just focus on this tournament, and I'll just, I guess my favorite or who I think could win it here is going to be one of those like plus 600 numbers, and that's Arkansas. I'll go with them. I think they've got, had put some games together this season, had a pretty good run, and so I just think this is going to be a little wacky. It seems a little bit too of a much of a foregone conclusion for as inconsistent of a conference as it's been. I just can't see it just going to script. So that I'll go Arkansas on that, and then long shot. Let's go something wacky like Kentucky. I think like 4,000 somewhere around there, and they got the talent. They've looked good at times. Maybe they put it together here, and if you want to go crazy, and I'm sure it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to see them make a run. They've done it before, obviously, in this conference, and used to be it was at Kentucky and everybody else. So,
Yeah.
and maybe this could be one of those weekends where we see some of that action again. So I'll go Arkansas as my favorite, and then Kentucky as a really long shot there.
All right, yeah, definitely not the league that we saw last year with so many dominant teams heading into the postseason. Moving on to the ACC, this is where you have your biggest favorite. Duke is sitting at minus 330 is what the number I saw to win this thing. So no value whatsoever if you want to pick them to win the thing. I do think it's hard to find anybody else that I'm going to say that I'm most confident in winning it. It is them. I think they have the best well-rounded team. They have the best player in Cameron Boozer. They've got some good role players. I think they're the ones to win it. My long shot, though, if I'm going to put a little money on it, so I guess what I'm saying is even though I think they're going to win it, I probably wouldn't even make the play because what's the value? What am I going to get out of it? But if I'm going to go put a little money on a long shot, I'm going to go with Louisville. They've got a little bit of a mix of some experience on that team and some explosiveness. They've won a couple of games here and there that may be surprising people. So I'm going to go with them. They're sitting at plus 1,000. So obviously it's a little decent return if you put a few bucks down. So that's where I'm heading here in the ACC. What are you looking at?
Yeah, not always the most successful bets, but I guess the sure bets are the best bets. At least you think on paper and in your mind are the ones you don't got to say a lot about. So we'll just go Duke too. I don't see it's be hard to see them getting beat. Just the fact that they have been pretty solid all year. They haven't really had the hiccups that a lot of other teams have had, especially within the conference. They've really, I mean, someone people thought Virginia had a shot at them a few weeks ago, and they just run them out of the gym. Did the same thing to NC State. So that's got to be the obviously the easy about as sure pick as you're going to get. But again, like you said, there's not a ton of value there. So if you want to look at somebody with maybe an outside shot that North Carolina would get them in the semifinals, I think they're looking at plus 2,500. They beat them earlier this season, so maybe you put some weight into that. But that's still a much of a long shot. But a few bucks on that would make for a good weekend if they're able to get by Duke. You got to figure that's kind of the championship right there.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. So we'll move on into the Big 12, and lots of good teams here. This is going to be a fun tournament, I think. Lots of teams that have the potential to win it. Lots of teams that I like to do some damage when they get to the next tournament in the big dance. But I do think that overall, the betting favorite is also the most well-rounded team, top to bottom. Arizona just seems to have the pieces at every single position on the floor. Now, I know we talk about when it comes to tournament time, you got to have the guards to get it done. And that's why I do like Houston down the road. I think that they're a much more dangerous team when it comes to the big dance as far as overcoming maybe a weird day. But I do think Arizona, like I said, top to bottom, they've got the guys in the right positions that can affect the game in one way or another at every level. And it's hard to pick against them right now the way they're playing. So I think they're the ones to win this thing. You're getting plus 110, so at least it's a little bit of return if you want to throw some coin down there and a larger chunk. Now, I'm going to go long shot here, dark horse. I'm going to go with the bias here. I think that Iowa State has got a chance to do this just because they do have the talent. They've shown that they can beat a lot of these teams. And it's historically a place where they play really well. They've had a couple of years where there's been some hiccups, but for the most part, it's always been them giving a run at getting to that championship and winning the thing. I think they've got a chance to do that, especially if they play well early this week. Plus 800, so it's also a pretty good return. I think that's about as good as a return you're going to get on a team that has a good shot at winning a tournament here. So that's where I'm going to go. SJ, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, go kind of agree with what you said as far as who's been the best from top to bottom. But with I guess as many good teams as you have, and it's kind of this in the next conference we're gonna speak about as well. It just doesn't seem like it can go to script. It just seems almost impossible. So I'm gonna go. I mean, and I'm not even going that much off script. Going with the 2 seed in Houston. So it's not like we're just doing a stretch here. But I also would point out that the other teams that I like to have a chance there, which would be a Texas Tech and Iowa State, as maybe my dark horses there. Them along with Arizona are in the top half of the bracket, and Houston's just got they got a Kansas below down, on their side of the bracket, but that's kind of what they got to deal with there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure those other 3 teams amongst those games beat each other up a little bit, and then maybe Houston gets a wounded animal there in the championship. So, yeah. I mean, if they're going to win it, that's the way I'd look at it. So I like Houston as the favorite, and then the winner of that, I guess if it goes as planned, we're projecting here, but if Iowa State and Texas Tech end up matching up, whoever wins that, I think could make a run as well.
All right, so that's where we're looking there in the Big 12. Move on to the Big 10 in Chicago at the United Center. Lots of good teams here as well, obviously. You could say that probably about every team. All the conferences are so big now. There's plenty of good teams, but I do think the top is very heavy in both of these leagues, in both the Big 10 and the Big 12. There's some really good teams that could make some runs. And I'm going to go a little bit outside the box here. I know Michigan's the favorite to win this. And I don't disagree that they're a good team. I just think that they have some holes that can be exposed from time to time. And I like the way that Illinois has played as the season has wound down. Keaton Wagler's a really like unique type of player. Like he's a guard, but a big guard that's just got kind of a different skill set. So I think he poses a lot of problems for teams, and that's one of the reasons why they're so good at times. So I'm going to go with Illinois. They're plus 450. That's a decent little return there to win the thing. So I'll go with them. And then dark horse. This isn't a dark horse come tournament time because they always seem to turn it on, but I'll go Michigan State. They've certainly played well here at the end of the year at times. Maybe not every game, but they've proven they can keep pace with most teams in the league. They've got some player issues with one guy, but maybe that works to their advantage. I don't know. They always seem to play well this time of year, so that's one to look at. Plus 650, so that's a nice another little return turnaround there for that one. SJ, where are you going here?
I think the bottom half of the bracket is much more advantageous as far as the matchups and how that goes. So it's a little tricky because I'd rather just pinpoint one team who I favor to win, but it's not that easy when we're with a conference where the top 4 seeds get 3 bye games, and you're kind of like, what are the matchups going to be? So it's kind of like that, the March Madness pool when you got to pick the first 4. It's like, what the hell do we do here? So, but with that said, I'll narrow it down as close as I can. Whoever wins that, if they end up they're matching up there, but comes out of that Michigan State, Nebraska, I'll take that as my I guess favorite between those two. But I also do like Illinois. That'd be really close behind it. If we're talking value, how we usually kind of weight our confidence, those are going to be really close to each other and how to do that. I wouldn't think much of. So I guess those would be, I guess you want to go favorites, and dark horse will go Michigan State, Nebraska, the favorites. The one of the who comes out of that, and then Illinois, not much far behind. I just think Michigan's kind of they're where they at. They're not going to change their seeding, and I just with this, kind of. And mentioned they get the buys, but you're playing in such a short amount of time with that quick prep and scout, and then facing a new team. And like I mentioned, the top half of that bracket is much more difficult as far as you can play Wisconsin, who's kind of getting hot right now. You got some other teams out there. Who knows who's going to make a run? There's always a team or two, even like an Iowa hasn't been playing that. I mean, they've kind of hit their stride, and they just make it ugly like that. That's a gross basketball. I mean, I don't even know you can call that basketball, but that's a different conversation. But I just think Michigan's kind of they're on to the tournament, which you can't blame them. They've accomplished all they can do. They're number 1 seed. They won the regular season, getting the postseason accolades. So I think they might get caught here, but it won't really affect them. I don't think come tournament time. It's just gonna be a thing where maybe there's there's always that realization with teams like, oh, they can't get beaten, and all of a sudden they do. It's like, oh yeah, actually they can get beat. And, I think, I don't know, the original quote, but anybody can be beat is I believe Bart Scott popularized it, but there's no true words have been spoken.
Yeah. We like you said, we'll definitely see some surprises here or there, some things that sneak up on us here, but that's kind of our look at the field here in the Power Four, what we think is at least maybe likely, and then also what maybe gives you a little bit of value. So do what you want with that, maybe play around with it. Who knows? Maybe you even put a couple of them together to get yourself a little bit even more value with trying to win a little extra coin here this weekend. There's definitely not a lack of options come this time of year to be able to throw some things together as far as some bets. So we'll try to give you our ideas as we go along the way. Make sure that you are locked in here on this channel, because we'll certainly have plenty more as we move through into the big dance and every round as it goes along. On the YouTube channel, make sure you like, subscribe, get the notifications so you're seeing those as they come to you. You see the handles there on the screen. Those are our Twitter handles, so you can find us there and be able to interact with, of course, all of our picks. We'll put it out for you and then feed you these links to these videos and the podcast as well along the way. And then also the podcast, we'll have it coming hot and heavy to you every week as we move through the big dance. Every day we're covering, search it up, the name on whatever your favorite podcast platform may be. All right, go enjoy the madness. We hope you have some fun with it. Those are our picks here for Conference Tourney time. That's SJ Munoz. I'm Chris Parks. Thanks for joining us for another round of picks here from Every Day We're Covering. We'll see you next time for some more covers.